Construction and planning involve the use of browsing programs when looking into music videos and evaluating their style when searching for my own. I highly use the streaming website YouTube, reason being that it is relatively easy to find the music video you're after, and then it gives you other videos related to the video you're watching, or in association with the artist. Obviously, this is useful when looking for ideas. YouTube also allowed me to put music videos I liked into selected playlists based on their style or artist, so I could easily find them again when inspiration was lost. Office products were heavily used. Word was used in a basic manner, mostly planning the essays or evaluation, while product programs like Excel and Publisher I explored more. Excel was used when designing the risk assessment. It was useful as it had different colours for each category and adding the rating automatically. Publisher was used when I was designing the back of the CD case. I used Publisher rather than Word as it had more depth and options when designing highly visual mediums like posters and pictures. They can all snap into place and lock depending on when it comes to the lines and if they line up. This was highly useful as it meant that you could plan the pictures beforehand and also just lock them into place so it didn't look off in the minor details. Research and planning, I use my blog. I love the idea of the blog, however wherever I go I can use and work on the research and planning. Videos are easily embedded and pictures can be easily added to accompany the text already written on the blog. I also used an email, often to send images, videos and essays over from one computer to another. I preferred this to having a memory stick as I didn't have to have the memory stick constantly on me. I could just go onto Blogger or Google Docs or my email and it would be there. I use technology most, however, through the editing process. Like last year, I used Premiere Pro, however this time I downloaded it on my laptop so I could edit on the fly, rather than being locked into it at school. I enjoy working with Premiere Pro. I find it fluent and simple, or as challenging and hard as you want it to be. Most of my shots are quick shots on the beat, so I expanded the timeline often as I can to try and get these shots to get as close to the beats as possible. This was as easy as I thought it would be due to the audio track having a visual audio file. This meant I could visually see when the drum beats were. All that I had to do was copy the editing so it lined up with the audio file for a quick, smooth transition on the beat. I also used colour grading for the first time on Premiere. I used an effect called curves. This allowed me to increase the prominence of a certain colour. Colours being red, blue or green. That sounds limited, but it was quite useful to just add a specific amount of blue, then add the green. It gave it a more professional look. It was only really useful when I needed to turn a dull piece of footage into something cinematic. It heavily influenced the tone of the footage also. If I wanted to add a sadder scene, I would turn up the blue, where there's an angry scene, there would be a red. I used other effects, including the crop effect. This allowed me to have two borders, top and bottom of the scene, to make it more like a normal music video and less like a student project, as most modern music videos are filmed in widescreen. The effects most prominently used in the video had contrast, saturation and lighting effects. This allowed me, to believe it or not, to edit the contrast, saturation and the amount of lighting in the scene. I turned saturation up and the lighting down. I made the footage look darker but colours popping out unlike before. This was also used when this was used when he left his hometown. The footage changed from dull to highly saturated, representing his feelings on his hometown. If anything, I enjoyed this part of the process. I also used After Effects for the first time. After Effects allowed me to add effects into the footage after it had been filmed. I used the paint tool and added it into a single frame, so it was almost like stop motion. This allowed me to add very, very basic animation. The animation didn't look amateur as it was that basic. It was used in a way to entice the viewer's eyes as they watched a white line jumping around the screen, making it more exciting when it was a less exciting scene. This also enabled me to express meaning in the footage. For example, when he reached the city, he goes on his phone and speaks to his mum. You know it's his mum because the text dancing around the screen says mum. As he drops the phone, the text disappears and the payphone lights up. With these effects expressing that he's left something emotional on the phone. This case being his mum. The only disadvantage of this is that you have to add each paint frame by frame. There are 24 frames in a normal video. This amounts to a lot of me drawing the same thing. It gets tedious, but it's worth the wait. For the evaluation, I'm going to use Prezi, PowerPoint, green screen and a screen recorder. I enjoy Prezi, however I'm aware it's difficult to add strong detail into a Prezi. That's why hopefully I'm going to do an audio thing over that. PowerPoint again has this issue, but I don't know if I'm going to use PowerPoint. I might do 2 of the audio recordings. Green screen and recording audio is my preferred method. However, I'm aware that you have to have 4 different types of technologies in the evaluation.